Lori Lightfoot's running for re-election in Chicago. Well, here's a little video.
And your solution is?
I just explained it. We have been in Little Village working with those street vendors, understanding what the nature of the crime is, making sure that we're doing things in concert with them to help them make sure that their money is secure, not use money, if at all possible, using other forms of transactions to take care of themselves.
So that's a solution for crime. Hey, just no more cash. All right, Adam. People voting Democrat in cities, I'll never understand this. New York City is like 65, 70% Democrat. Same thing, Chicago, LA. These people who live in these cities will complain all day long. I know, because I'm always in these cities, about the crime and the trash and that this sucks and that sucks. They never have a nice word to say about the city. And yet election time comes around, they all go in and boop, 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 vote Democrat every single time. Explain that to me.
Actually, I'm really glad you brought this up because there are two sides to this. So for someone like Lori Lightfoot to say that, it's much like when you tell someone who's going to South America, make sure you don't wear nice clothes, nice jewelry, right? You're the one who's trying to live your life, and you have to be in constant thought about someone who's out to do something nefarious. And in America, we shouldn't necessarily live like that. That shouldn't be a commonality. And, you know, there are always going to be bad neighborhoods, no matter what country you go to. That exists. And you should be vigilant about it. But when she's telling the entirety of her city, you know, to live that way, I think that that's a sign that things aren't going well. But the point you were making before, why do they keep voting Democrat? And the hard truth that no one wants to admit is that Republicans don't show up in urban city centers. That's the real truth. You know, Chicago, for example, hasn't had a Republican mayor since 1927. That's not by accident, right? We have to ask ourselves, why isn't the RNC or anybody since 1927 tried to do anything? You can look at Louisiana. Louisiana is a red state, yet New Orleans hasn't had a Republican mayor since 1800s, right? The late 1800s. Why is that the case? Is it because the Democrats are so good there? Or is it because there is some sort of collusion or there is some sort of negligence that's happening with the Republican Party? So, you know, and I can go list by list, state by state. The reason I'm actually talking about this more so as well is because I'm working on a piece for the Epoch Times where, you know, the narrative as to why do Black Americans keep voting for Democrats? It's because they live in these urban city centers. 60% of Black Americans live in 10 states. You can name those states by the cities that they're in. They're voting for what is there. And oftentimes, city council, there's no Republican option. Mayor, there's no Republican option. They're voting for the party that is actually there. So we have to ask ourselves, why aren't the Republicans there? And then every 4 years, when they're running for the presidency, they wait for Pennsylvania to show up. It's all red in the rural counties and suburban counties. But as soon as Philadelphia pops up, it goes blue. As soon as Pittsburgh pops up, it's blue. Then they lose the state and wonder why that happens every 4 years. So I really do think that Republicans have to start looking at their party and asking that question, where the hell are you?
One of the most revealing conversations I ever had was with Joe Collins, who was running against Maxine Waters in California, Compton, I believe, if memory serves me. And he would tell me routinely, Jesse, most of my constituents or potential constituents have never even met a Republican. That's crazy. Yep. Adam Coleman, thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man.